Hi, good evening. I hope you're all having a lovely Easter Saturday weekend. Down in Brighton, it's been absolutely amazing. We've actually been sat outside till about 6 o'clock and it was just glorious. So I hope you're all having this lovely weather wherever you are. I'm down in Brighton and it's a beautiful weekend so far, but I think it is going to get a little bit chillier, so we'll have to wait and see. Hi everyone. Hi Linda. Nice to see you. Thanks for watching. I'm just going to wait a few minutes, just 2 or 3 minutes, for more people to come on. Hi Janet. Hi Sarah from Cork. Wow, what's the weather like? Super sunny. Amazing. Hi Natalia. Lovely to see so many familiar faces. Hi Helen, Zaneta. Maria, hola, how are you? Another lovely Spanish lady from Cork watching. Lovely to see you. So I'm going to start slowly. I know there's still people coming on. My name is Anna Rocker Martin, and as I mentioned before, I am in Brighton. I'm an advisor and a team leader here, and I became an advisor in 2010, and I've really enjoyed my Thermomix journey so far. It's been pretty amazing. I've met amazing people. I've learned so much about Thermomix as well. And it's just really good fun. If anybody is thinking about doing some flexible work, if you enjoy cooking, we're recruiting at the moment, so please do let us know and we can tell you more about it. But it's really good fun. That's all I can say. So today I'm going to be making some really chocolatey, gooey, indulgent treats for Easter, and we're going to be decorating them. Oh, hi Hugo from Portugal. Oh, Grimsey lives in Grimsey, comes from Portugal. Hi, thanks for watching. Ivona, hi Ivona. Jamal, hi Jamal. Tell us where you're watching from. It's really nice to see. Oh, Lucy, hi. How are you, Lucy? Nice to see you. Wonderful. It's lovely to see so many people. It's really good. So shall I start slowly telling you what I'm going to be doing? So we're going to be making these very indulgent chocolate brownies. I'm going to be giving you a few of my tips, and I hope that helps and inspires you to do some baking with our wonderful Thermomix. Now, hi Nikki. Nice to see you. Hi Agnes. Now, one of my other passions, apart from Thermix, is that I really enjoy cake decorating. In fact, I used to have a cake decorating business for a while, and now it's just, hi Agatha, and now it's just a hobby for me. But of course, I jumped on the chance to do something sweet, Eastery, and a little bit of decorating thrown in. So I hope you enjoy. Now, brownies. Everyone loves brownies. You've probably all made brownies. So I want to show you my favorite brownie recipe in cookie dough. And it's actually a brownie recipe from the American portal. And it's actually based on a Mexican brownies. And it's called Oaxacan chocolate brownies. And you will find it in the American portal. I will pop it on the comments later on because the spelling is a little bit tricky. It's actually Oaxacan, but I will write it down later on. These are my preferred brownies. Most brownie recipes use chocolate, and this one actually used cacao powder instead of chocolate. And I find cacao powder in brownies is delicious, and it's actually very versatile. And because we're going to be adding some chocolate elements today, I prefer to use the cocoa powder. They're still going to be really decadent and gooey, I promise you. Okay, so let's start. So let's take the lid off first. I've got my recipe up already. Let's start, and it's asking me to preheat the oven at 325 Fahrenheit. Now, because it's an American recipe, we're talking in Fahrenheit, in ounces. Now, because I use a lot of the American recipes, I've got used to it now, but the oven is all set to 180. It's asking me to grease a pan, which I've got here, and I'll show you in a sec. Telling me more about the pan. This is the wonderful thing about cookie dough, that it really does give you all the instructions word by word, from popping the oven on to getting your pans ready, etc. So Okay, so the first thing it's asking me to weigh is macadamia nuts. I am going to skip this step because we're going to be adding other things. It's Easter. Let's make it really decadent. So we're going to forget about the nuts today. So I'm going to bypass the 2 or 3 instructions for the nuts. Wonderful. And now we've come to unsalted butter. So that I do have. Let me get my spatula. And I have pre-weighed the butter just to make things a little bit easier doing the live. And it's 5 ounces of butter. So that's going to go in. And we'll press next. 3 ounces of cocoa powder. Now, when we say cocoa powder, we mean a nice, good quality cacao powder, not the cheap stuff that you buy in the shop. And it doesn't mean that this is super expensive, but it's organic cacao powder. It has no sugar, it's dairy free, it's vegan, and it's really versatile. I love this stuff. I use it to make hot chocolate. I use it to make all sorts of chocolate mousses. It's really, really good stuff. So if you have any questions about the cacao powder, I can write that in the comments later on. So that's 3 ounces going in. Now, I've now learnt that an ounce is 30 grams, so I can just about calculate how much that is in grams in my head. But if you simply weigh in the scales, you don't really need to, I guess, calculate beforehand. So 208, a little bit more. There we go. That's our cacao powder going in. Let's press next. Sugar. 9 ounces of sugar, sorry. Again, I've weighed it all before, only because I just wanted to have it all ready and easy to go. So that's our sugar going in. This is white sugar. You could use brown sugar if you wanted to. I find brown sugar in chocolatey stuff is also quite nice, especially in brownies. It gives it a nice gooey texture. So you could use brown sugar, or you could use half and half. There we go. And now a tiny bit of salt. Now, just a gentle reminder that salt in sweet goods just brings out the flavour ever so slightly. And it's just, you wouldn't think of putting salt in sweet stuff, but actually it really does bring out the sweetness. It's a strange thing. And another thing that we're going to add, now this isn't in the recipe, this is my personal tip, but I love adding a little bit of sugar into anything chocolatey. Again, it really brings out the chocolate flavour. And this kind of powdered coffee, if you have a look in there, it's not granulated, it's powdered. You can actually add that straight in. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground powdered instant coffee. Okay, so that's gone in there. Let's press next. Let's insert the measuring cup, which is here. Let's press next. Turn the speed selector to speed 1.5, and that is now going to cook for 7 minutes, 7 whole minutes, okay? It's going to melt the butter, the sugar, the cocoa, and it's actually going to turn into a really chocolatey, gooey mess. Really lovely. So, let's show you a couple of things. So this is our tin ready to go, and I'm going to show you how I lined it. Now what I did is I have 2 bits of paper like this. I just measure them out and cut them. And this is for me the easiest way to line a square tin. So we put them like so. And the great thing is they also become handles, and it's really easy to take the brownies out afterwards. Just pull them out and they will come straight out. So that's our tin ready to go for when this mixture is ready. The other thing we're going to prepare is our decorations for the brownies, because we are going to give them a really nice kind of Easter flavour. So in this bowl here, I've got some icing sugar. So as we know, Thermomix, wonderful for turning sugar into icing sugar. This took about 30 seconds for this amount of sugar. Now, if I was making icing sugar for buttercream for a cake, I would probably put it on for a whole minute. I'm really funny about it, and I want my icing sugar to be really fine, almost like flour. And how do I know when it's ready? I do the finger. So if I go like this, you can feel if there's granulated still, or you can feel if it's nice and floury and thin and silky smooth, and that's the best test. Now for something like this today, this is absolutely fine, but if you're making buttercream, I do suggest that you put it on for at least a minute. So I'm now going to pop in this little bowl here 3 heaped teaspoons of our icing sugar. Okay, let me pop this to one side. These are my measuring cups. This one's full of water. So what I'm going to do here is add a little bit of water. Now less is more, so you've just got to add the water slowly until you have the right consistency. See, I've just added a little bit too much water, which is what I was trying to tell you not to do, to add less. So let me just use this. I'll add a little bit more sugar in there. There you go. So start very slowly adding the water to the icing sugar, because you don't want it too runny. You want it to have quite a nice medium thick consistency. This is looking really good. And actually when it settles down, it will thicken up a little bit. Okay, so there we go. So that there is our white icing sugar mixed up with a little bit of water. Okay, I'm going to leave that to one side. And now I've got another bowl here. We're going to do exactly the same, except we're going to change the colour of this one. So we're going to add, I'm going to add a little bit more here. I'm going to add about 5 heaped teaspoons of icing sugar. There we go, tiny bit more, that should be good. Okay, so that's in there. And then the other thing I'm going to add, oh, where's my lid, is a little bit of vanilla extract, which is here. Now this is my homebrew vanilla extract. I think you can see. Can you see the vanilla pods inside? And all this is, it is a bottle of vodka with vanilla pods that I've split. Now I've probably had this for a good 5 years now, and I actually keep topping up with more pods and more vodka. But this is like, oh, the smell of this is amazing. But that's how easy it is to make vanilla extract. So I'm going to add literally half a teaspoon. Put that to one side. Then I'm going to add, where's my spoon? So I'm going to add a little bit of water. Again, go very slow with the water because we want it to have a nice thick consistency. See, I think I've gone water heavy again. Luckily, I have more sugar here to add. So I'm going to add a bit more sugar. There we go. All it takes is a few extra drops of water and that's it. It's too thin. See, now it's a little bit too thick. There we go. Have a look at that. So I'm going to add an ever tiny, tiny amount of water. Just a bit in there. There we go. I think that's perfect now. Okay, so the next thing we're going to add is some yellow colouring. This is my gel yellow colouring. It's very strong. It's much stronger than the liquid ones that you buy in the supermarket. They do last a really long time, so it is worth good value for money actually. I'm going to pop that in there, and then we're going to mix this up. There you go, can you see? It's going to go nice and yellow. There we go. Just give it a good old mix. And that is our yellow icing to go on top. Because of course it's Easter. We need a bit of yellow at Easter, don't we? There we go. I really like the contrast of chocolate and yellow as well. It looks quite striking. So just a tiny bit more mixing here. I've just got a little few bits in there. Wonderful. There we go. That's almost ready. There's a couple of bits that don't want to mix up, but I think we're ready to go. There we are. Tiny, tiny bit more. There's a stubborn bit in there that doesn't want to mix, but I think that's just about ready. Look at that lovely colour. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so that is our icing sugar. Ready to go. Put this bowl over here. We don't need that anymore. We don't need the colouring anymore. And another thing, so I've got a few other things here like sprinkles and marshmallows. I also found these, look at these cute little duckies. Now these are all from the pound shop. I really love going to the pound shop. Look, I've got some gorgeous, let me turn it around properly. Oh, I lost one. I'll go and get it in a second. These gorgeous little eggs, they're gonna help us decorate later. But always pop into the pound shop around Christmas time and around, you know, Halloween and Easter, because they always have some really cool stuff. I'm just going to recover the little egg that I lost while I was showing you. I've got it, because I need it for later. Okay, so you'll be able to see them properly in a little bit. Okay, so that's our 7 minutes up. Let's take the lid off. Okay, so we've got half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, which is this vanilla I showed you earlier on. In fact, just going to show you that. So that's what our mixture looks like after it's been cooking for 7 minutes with the sugar and the butter. Let's press next. 2 large eggs, cold, so these have been in the fridge. Because this mixture has been heated, you really want the eggs to be cold so they don't cook when you put them in. So important that these eggs are in the fridge. There we go, so that's our eggs in. Let's press next. Insert the measuring cup. And that's now going to mix for 10 seconds. So it's mixing the egg and the vanilla extract. There we go, nice and quick. So I've got my flour ready. Let's press next. Scrape the sides with the spatula. There we go. Oh, tell you what, the smell of chocolate, magical. Let's press next. Okay, so we've got our 2.5 ounces of all-purpose flour. Now I had a nice little spoon here. Here we go. So all-purpose flour going in. Let's have a look at the scales. 1.5. That's it. Just gone slightly over, but I think that should be fine. So that's our flour going to one side. A little bit of cinnamon. It says 3/4 teaspoon. That should do it, I guess. I'm not very good at measuring everything. And now it says reserve the chopped macadamia nuts. Of course, we're not adding nuts today. I am going to add some other bits, but we're not going to do it at this stage. And I'm going to show you in a second. So we're going to pop the lid on. There we go. And our knead function has come on. Now, these brownies are going to be mixed using the kneading function. I love this recipe. It's a little bit different, a little bit unique, and you'll see what a lovely texture it has at the end. So let's turn our speed selector and let that do its job. So 45 minutes of kneading. So let me just clear my counter a bit so we've got more space. Whoops. Okay. So, of course, we're making some Easter indulgent decadent brownies. And what are we going to add? Now in the, I mentioned we were going to add some cream eggs, but I'm also going to make some Malteser brownies as well. So half of them are going to have cream eggs and half of them are going to have Maltesers. Now this is all being in the freezer. So my Maltesers and the mini cream eggs, I cut them in half and they've been in the freezer. This is really important because we don't want them to melt into a really messy goo. We actually want them to have a little bit of bite and to stay together, okay? So mini cream egg, brownies and Maltesers. Okay, so this is it. That's our brownies done for us. Now, let's hope that you can see, just keeping an eye and make sure. So it's asking us now to pop it in. In fact, I'm going to scrape the sides, put it on for a tiny bit more. There's always a little bit of flour on the sides. So as we know with cookie dough, you can go back in the recipe very easy. I'm just going to hit the button, the speed selector again, and that's just going to need it 3 or 4 more seconds for me to make sure all the flour, all the mixture is in. Okay, that should be enough. There we go. Look at that. So that's our lovely decadent brownie mix. You must try these brownies. Promise me you will, because they are delicious. And I have another spatula because these are really proper gooey. So here we go. Let's pop them in our baking tray. As you can see, it's very thick. It doesn't look any different from a mixture that you would have made that has real chocolate in it. Chocolate bars melted. Okay. This is really sticky and messy, as you can see. So I've got some brownie around the blades there. So we're going to pop it back in here and let's get rid of the mess. So I've got my screen back up so that manually I can put this on for about 5-6 seconds, speed 10. You could also use the turbo to do this, doesn't really matter. And to be honest, a couple of seconds would have been more than enough. And see, by magic, our blades are super clean. So all the chocolate's now gone onto the side of the bowl, and it's going to make it a lot easier to get the rest out. Now this now becomes almost a two-hand operation. So let's try again. Scrape every single bit out. Can't wait to try these. Salivating already. Okay, let's keep scraping in here. Okay, I think I have most of it out now. I don't like waste, but I know one of my kids will be scraping the bowl later if there's any left. So, as you can see, it's quite sticky and messy, and I recommend that you do this with 2 spatulas. So basically, I am spreading this out with the help of 2 spatulas, because otherwise your parchment paper, if you start going one side and then the next, your parchment paper will go with it. And this is the easiest way to spread it out onto your tin. So there we go. I'm going to try and get all the way to the edges. So the next thing I'm going to do is give it a good shake. That's also going to help spread it easier. And also, if there's any bubbles in there, anytime you put cake batter in a cake, always give it a tap, because that will get rid of all the air bubbles. I don't think brownie mixture has a lot of air bubbles, I must say, but it definitely helps for spreading the mixture. Okay, so that's our brownies ready to go. However, we have some stuff to put into it. So I just hope that you can see what I'm doing. So half is going to be these lovely mini eggs there. So I'm going to pop them inside. I'll do it with 2 hands. So there we go. Mini eggs all around. Yeah. And then on the other side, we're going to do Maltesers. So pop them in like so. Doesn't have to be neat. There we are, a few here. See, like so, but we are going to try and hide them in between the batter. So I do need my double spatula again. And with the double spatula, I'm going to be hiding. We want it to be in the center of the batter, not actually on top. So that is, takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. Let's hide all our little surprises in there. There we go. I find that the mini cream eggs are very gooey and decadent, but the Maltesers give it such a lovely crunch. So we're going to keep hiding. This bit takes a little bit of fiddling around, but it's worth it. Hiding all our Maltesers inside. There we go. One more. That's just about right. You won't be able to see them afterwards. There we are. Okay, so that's our mixture ready to go in the oven. Now, this is going to take 20 minutes in the oven. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. It's going to go in the timer for 10 minutes. And when you pop it out, we're going to be adding some large cream eggs. So this is going to go in the oven now. So what I've done, again, this has been in the freezer. I have chopped cream eggs in half, okay? In fact, I have a couple of caramel eggs instead of cream eggs, just to change it up a little bit. So we're gonna have some that have caramel egg and some that have the cream egg in it. They're all stuck together here. But this is what we're going to be putting on top of our cake at the half-minute time. Now, if we add these in too soon, they will melt completely, even though they're frozen. So it's really important that you pop it in for 10 minutes, take it out at the 10-minute mark, put the eggs on, and then pop it back in again for another 10 minutes, all right? So of course, as we do in these things, I have one ready for you to see so that we don't have to wait for the baking time. So here is one that came out of the oven about 20 minutes ago. To be honest with brownies, you shouldn't, can you see? Yeah. To be honest with brownies, you shouldn't really cut them until they've cooled down a bit. So this is probably the perfect temperature now. So yeah, there we go. So of course, it's Easter. We need to decorate these. We can't just serve them like so. And the first thing we're going to do is use our beautiful yellow colouring. So I have, look at these funky looking spoons. They're really cool. Now these are called drizzling spoons and they're used in professional kitchens a lot. For example, if you're, if you've got a lovely plate and you want to do some dew around it, or, some gravy or a balsamic glaze, for example, this is the kind of thing where you can do little spots around the plate or you can drizzle it on top. The same, perfect for baking. Now you don't need these, you could use it just a teaspoon, but they're really funky. So if you come across them, treat yourself to a pair of these. So I've got, just giving it one last mix, I've got my lovely yellow here. So I'm going to put it on the spoon and we're just going to drizzle it diagonally like so. Just drizzle it diagonally. Okay. Let's get it nice and yellow. I think yellow and chocolate, very striking. And we're going to keep going. It's really nice. As you see, I've kept the parchment paper on because it means I don't get my work surface too messy. So let's keep drizzling some more of this lovely yellow. Let's get a little bit more in here. Beautiful. Tiny bit more. Now we're going to go in the other direction. Let's see if I can, oh, it's coming out. Okay, let's try and go this way now. Beautiful. Okay, so that's our yellow. And then I've got a smaller version and we're going to use the white now. And we're going to just do the same, do a little bit of drizzling. And it's going to give it this beautiful colour. There we go. Okay, so that's the drizzling done. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a few sprinkles. Now I've got this lovely yellow. So I'm going to put some in my hand. This is going to give it some nice colour, but also some nice texture. So we're going to pop that all over our brownies. A little bit. You don't need to go too heavy on this yellow one because it's quite sweet, but just enough to give it that little bit of crunch. Beautiful. And then, of course, I've got these little, they're not hundreds and thousands because they're like straight ones. Let's see if you can see on the camera. And again, lovely colour, all these hundreds of thousands. Just going to give it a really pretty look. And this is such good fun to do with the kids as well, a little bit of decorating. I love sprucing up any bake. I think it's very easy to just, just get a few sprinkles, just get a little bit of something. And it's just so easy these days to make things look such fun. And of course the kids, I always enjoy doing things like this with the kids and let them, have bowls out with lots of different kinds of sprinkles or chocolate and they can do it. Another thing you could also do, which would go really well with this, is melt some white chocolate and use my little spoons as well to drizzle the white chocolate. That always goes really nice with a brownie. So let's cut these. So I'm going to cut them in half. So I've separated my Malteser size and my cream egg side. So then I'm going to cut that in half again. Like so. So let's turn it around. You can see how great this parchment paper is, because you use it to take the brownies out of the pan, and also they're great to work around when you're decorating. So we're going to chop these up. So these are all nice and cut and ready to go. We've got a little bit more decorating before. So I've got some orange eggs and I've got some Smarties mini eggs. So we're going to use these as well. So I'm going to pop a little orange egg on all of them, like so. And I'm just popping it in the cream egg there. There we go. So that's our orange egg. And then we're going to use some colourful Smartie eggs. There we go. So lots of different colours. It's going everywhere now. I'll put that to one side. So I've got a pink one here, purple one. I can use a yellow one there. I thought I had, well, all my blue ones, but I'm going to pop them in my plate here. It's a little bit easier. Ah, here we go. I like to change all the colours. So we're going to have a nice blue one there and a red one. That's really pretty. And then what other colours haven't I used yet? I don't want the orange one. I think I've used all the colours now, haven't I? I'll use another purple one there. There we go. So that's these. And then for, what have I done with them? I have, oh, there we go. I thought I'd lost them. So for the side that has Maltesers, I have some Malteser bunnies, which are really cute. And I think I don't have enough for all of them, but we'll try that. So we're going to pop one Malteser bunny on each of the Malteser side. There we go. And I think there's going to be just one left without Maltesers. There we are. And what I'm going to do is, on the Malteser bunnies, I'm just going to drizzle a tiny bit of yellow, just to give it a bit of colour. There we go. A little bit of colour. Beautiful. It's really pretty. Okay, let's pop all this to one side. So the next thing we need to do, let me just move things out of the way a little bit so I've got more space. So we've decorated these. Now we're going to get, so I've got this very pretty cake stand that has, it's really nice. I have had this for years, and you can change the lace to suit if it's Christmas or Easter or Halloween. It's really funky. So let's pop these on our lovely cake stand. Just randomly. So I'm going to take a Malteser bunny and a cream egg, and we're going to pop them randomly all around our cake stand. There we go. Let's get another one of these. Another bunny. I'm just doing them randomly, one each. And maybe we've got space for another one here. Okay, so we've got more, but I'm just going to leave it like this for you guys to see. And then we're going to use these decorations that I showed you earlier on. So let's make a little bit of a gap here. What I'm going to do is going to put a little bit of chicky here in the center. And then we've got these really funky eggs that are just going to sit around there on the side. Might put that one there, and this one maybe in the front or on the side here. It's up to you guys. And then once I pop those, I'm going to stick a few more brownies around. Oh, one of my Malteser bunnies has fallen off. Oh, let's get it back on there. There we go. Let's put that back together. Okay, so this is it, guys. These are really indulgent brownies, Malteser brownies, cream brownies, really pretty, and look, all ready for Easter Sunday tomorrow. Now, will you be giving them a go? Now, just remember that if you have any questions, if you want to have any questions about the cocoa that we used or the ingredients, please feel free to ask. I know I've got some very experienced colleagues that have been keeping an eye on the chat as well. But for the moment, what I'd like to say is that, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a real pleasure to share this recipe with you. I hope you have a wonderful Easter break, and I look forward to seeing you at the next live. Take care, everyone. Bye. Bye. Have a lovely, lovely Easter weekend, everyone.